So, thinking back to your military experience then, what skills did you gain in the military that have helped your approach to teamwork now?
So yeah, I think the main skills I when I thought about it and I wrote a few down was like obviously teamwork. We're talking about it today, but teamwork 100% is definitely a skill.
Mm,
One that I took away from my time there. Like I learned obviously good things and bad things when I was in the military of like how to do teamwork well. But there were like fundamental things that was obviously instilled into me from my career there that has helped me dividends after. I would also say discipline was another one,
yeah.
kind of an obvious one, but actually in the civilian world, I hadn't realized how short a supply discipline is actually. It's not as well known or seen. And you know, if you read any books that are like about productivity and how to be successful, like what runs throughout all of that is discipline. So I would definitely say that was another one that I gained in the military that's helped me out so much now. I wrote down like adaptability. I think we have learned a lot of that in the military, how to adapt to certain situations, and I think that one has helped me skills wise too. Some of these are like more like soft skills rather than like hard skills. Like it's not like I don't know, got good at working on emails or, you know, or something like I do now. Like the skills that I need for my job, I didn't gain in the military, but it's the soft skills and the character skills that I'd gained that meant that I could adapt quickly. And then the other, I would say the other last, like the last two is like time management, like
Mm,
being aware of timings and being aware of like starting to learn early on this is going to take longer than I thought, you know, and need to plan well for that. And the other one is like leadership. Of course,
yeah.
we all get taught that quite early on in a career in the military. So leadership was another one.
I think it's a good point what you make about like they're not necessarily hard skills, and like I hear certainly again and again, the more I learn about um the military and the experience you get is it's like mindset too. Like people from the military have such like this mindset that gives them these competencies that you've mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it does make a difference. I think it's easy to. I definitely felt it quite daunting how to
Mm.
switch from one to the other, especially like a career in the paras. It's not really. I can't really just switch into a para civilian job. You know, there isn't really anything that connects with that apart from maybe outdoor instructor or I don't know, just something like that. But in terms of like some sort of job where I could get a good, strong, steady income, I couldn't really obviously find anything. So I think these soft skills are more important than I think people realize.
Yeah.
So.
And that actually leads on really nicely thinking about translating soft skills and hard skills. So these soft skills that you've mentioned, did you find that they translated seamlessly into your civilian role?
Yeah, I think so because uh, it helped to be able to then like know how to apply them
Mhm.
because I'd done it before in many different ways during my time in the military. So there were a lot of things that did like seamlessly just switch quite well because they're soft skills. I'm not dependent on like all of the hard skills for one particular role. So I wasn't set in my ways in a certain way. I was just able to change my work ethic and try to read the room and read the situations around me to help me then when applying myself in whether it be even in the early days as an intern all the way through to obviously now. And I think the ones that probably like the biggest skill that did change and I had to really adapt to was probably more like communication, like my communication skills. Because obviously in the paras, we've got one way of communicating, and it's very different to working in a civilian team. So being able to provide your input, but in a way that is equal to the rest of the people. Like usually when you have input in the military, you need to have rank, right? So
Yeah.
generally speaking, so suddenly I actually was giving a lot more decision making power, and so I had to learn that I can do that based on not just the experiences I had because at the early days I didn't have it, but also when I continued on after that as well. So that was one that I probably had to change the most.